So I can't help but remember last year was the first year I ever heard of this, and maybe it was the first year, but October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And that's very interesting considering we've been talking about the Civil War type theme that they're doing, or whatever they're trying to, divide people, whatever. They're either using the Civil War or they're trying to cause a new Civil War. In the end, they're trying to divide the people like crazy, and there's all this white and black with Freddie Gray to Michael Brown to the church shooting to whatever. But interesting, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And remember, they used purple ribbons and everything else. The word purple actually adds up to 88. So interesting. Purple adds up to 88. But also, you had the sports stars that were in trouble for domestic violence during that month or whatever, right around the time. And it was Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice, and they both played for teams that wore purple, the Baltimore Ravens and then the Minnesota Vikings. So literally, this stuff is coded so deep, and a long time ago, I'm telling you, it's so coded. So Ray Rice, he plays for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, you just had the Freddie Gray and all the riots and everything else. Baltimore, who knows, adds the 95 with the mirror of 59. And I've talked about how 59, 95 go with like black people. Also, Pope Francis adds to 59 the word kill. But moving on, because there's a lot of better information here. So he was born on 122. Pope Francis adds up to 122. San Francisco adds up to 122. Golden State, 122. Been talking about 122 for I don't know how long. A long time. But, okay. So this is really crazy. So Ray Rice got in trouble for beating up his girlfriend. And then he got suspended last year. And it was actually his wife, not his girlfriend. But so it happened on 18th. He punched her in the face. And that's the last day of Lupercalia of 2014. And then he was suspended by the NFL on September 8th. And then he was finally reinstated on November 28th. But so he was suspended on September 8th. Whatever. Tons of stuff. But then he was reinstated. He won the appeal on November 28th, which is a span of 81 days. And 81 is the mirror of 34. 1981 was 34 years ago. 1934 was 81 years ago. And I've been talking about how all of that goes with the Civil War. And I'll explain it here. So Abraham Lincoln was born on the 43rd day of the year, the mirror of 34. He became president on 3/4. Also, Kansas became the 34th state 43 days before Abraham Lincoln became president. And then on April 12th, the Civil War began. And then in 1861, so 61 is pretty significant. The word 34, if you write it out, it adds up to 61. Also, interesting, Obama is the 43rd person to be the president. Abraham Lincoln died on 4/15. Julian, if you convert that to Julian, it's actually 4/3. Charleston, where the first death happened in the Civil War, adds to 43. Also, the Charleston shooting that we had this year, Dylan Stormroof was the guy who shot it up. He was born on 4/3. If you add up Civil War, it adds up to 43. I mean, there is tons of stuff. Vatican even adds up to 43. But, and I've talked about how a lot of it has to do with the Pope and whatnot. And anyway, I'm going to move on because I just wanted to show how significant 34 has been. So Ray Rice, one of the big deals that he did was in the 2012 season when he won the Super Bowl with Baltimore. Interesting because his coach was John Harbaugh, and he ended up they played the 49ers, which we've been talking about, the San Francisco and the 49ers, and next year's Super Bowl is even in the 49ers stadium, Levi Stadium. But him and his brother Jim, who coached the 49ers, actually coached each other in the Super Bowl. So let's check out the Baltimore Ravens head coach. Really? He was born on September 23rd, 1962. And before he coached the Baltimore Ravens, he was the defensive backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia. Interesting. He's even 52 years old. We've talked about that with the Queen and Princess Charlotte. Tons and tons and tons of stuff with 52. It's the 239 is the 52nd prime number. I just got reminded that plutonium was actually called plutonium-239. They called it 49 in the Manhattan Project. It all goes together. If you watch my previous videos, it explains it a lot better. Anyway, so him and his brother, and Ray Rice was on this team. They played each other. So interesting, domestic violence, and then you have the two brothers. So I mean, I know it was a different year, but just interesting that that's where he got his first Super Bowl ring. Ray Rice got his first Super Bowl ring, basically during a domestic violence thing, because it was this guy versus his brother in the Super Bowl, right? So yeah, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, Super Bowl 47. It was played on 3/3, which is the 34th day of the year. The Baltimore Ravens won with a score of 34 points. This was also the Super Bowl when the power went out in the third quarter. And, remember everyone was expecting, at least I was expecting something because I was awake at the time and I understood. And it was really interesting that the power outage happened. But look, the score was 28-6. 28 plus 6, what is that? 34. And it says it was suspended play for 34 minutes. So the Super Bowl was on the 34th day of the year. The Ravens won, scoring 34. When the power went out, it was, if you add them together, it's 34. It was suspended for 34 minutes. What are the odds of that? Give me a break. This is so rigged. It even says CBS broadcast the game in the U.S. and charged an average of $4 million for a 30-second commercial during the game. $4 million in 30 seconds. 34. It was also Ray Lewis's last season in the NFL. He played for the Baltimore Ravens that year as well. He's number 52. I mean, go figure. I mean, there's so many 34s around this. So the MVP was Joe Flacco. I mean, nobody expected this, right? Well, I mean, you come here, you look at him, so whatever, born in 85. Before the Ravens versus Patriots game on September 23rd, 2012. He's still, I mean, they literally have to have a picture of him from September 23rd. Break. He was even born in Philadelphia, significant because the Pope to go to Philadelphia on his visit to America, or to the United States. So very interesting. Talks about his college career. He played for Delaware. In here, arguably the game at Division 180, where he threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, 43, 34, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, really, his name in Pythagorean gematria even adds up to 34. Interesting. They had his picture on 923. The 333rd prime is 2309, like 923. Beyonce even performed at the halftime show. And Beyonce will be 34 years old this year. Also born on September 4th, which is 9-4 or 4-9. And that is super significant. I'm not going to go into it. Otherwise, this video will be probably 3 hours long. Even says the pregame, Alicia Keys sung the national anthem, but she was going to sing it her way, a different way or whatever. Look, she in 1980, like I said, that was 34 years ago. So she is 34. Then it talks about the Sandy Hook Elementary people, the kids. They performed America the Beautiful. And it was also Jennifer Hudson along with them. Jennifer Hudson, September 12th, 1981. She will be 34 this year. But in gematria, America the Beautiful, America, I wrote it in there, but America the Beautiful adds to 81. Interesting. So all the people that sung, they're all born in 81. So Beyonce was born in 81. Alicia's born in 81. Jennifer Hudson, born in 81. America the Beautiful adds up to 81. Also, during the halftime show, they thought Jay-Z was going to collaborate with Beyonce, but it ended up just being they reunited Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child adds up to 61. And remember, the word 34 also adds up to 61. And just wanted to put a few numbers in here. So Ray Rice actually adds up to 79 and 43. Keep in mind 79 because that actually comes up again later on in this video that don't the Super Bowl, but it still has to do with domestic violence in sports and whatever. But anyway, Ray Rice also adds up to 43. Go figure, 43. The nickname of the Super Bowl was actually, since it was the two brothers playing, it was the Harbaugh Bowl and the Har Bowl. I mean, the Har Bowl is 79 and 34. Interesting. All these 34s and 43s. Ray Rice is 79. Har Bowl 79. Just the word Harbaugh is 66, which is 49 years ago. Just the 2 6s, also 39. I'm not even going to go into that one just because it won't make sense with this video. Very interesting numbers. Harbaugh Bowl is 55 and 118. I mean, 11, 8, 88. 55 always goes with the 59. Also, the word Satan is 55. But John Harbaugh, the coach then, the guy who was born on September 23rd, is very interesting that his name adds up to 113. And I'm going to make a video on Michael Jordan again here. Hopefully, I won't be, maybe tomorrow night. But Michael Jordan adds to 113. There's a lot to do with 13. Jordan even, there's a ton of 66 around Jordan. He's the Bulls god. And Space Jam is all about him coming out of retirement. So just think about that for a second. Also, there's his numbers were 9 and 23. Like for the Dream Team, he was number 9, and then his main number in the NBA was 23. Tons of stuff with him. But John Harbaugh also equals 59, just like Pope Francis, just like Kill. He was born on September 23rd. The Pope is coming on September 22nd, 23rd. So very, very interesting. And anyway, I mean, I barely even looked into this. Like, I looked at it for 10 minutes probably. I just read some things. Can't believe all the 34 that I've seen. But I want to move on then. So the other guy that was in trouble for domestic violence that wore purple was Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson. So Adrian Peterson, I mean, I don't see a ton of stuff about him. He got in trouble for domestic violence, but he wears purple. Like his team was purple. So interesting that they would choose that color for October and the domestic abuse awareness. But so he supposedly beat his kid with a tree branch, and it was on May 18th of 2014. But he wasn't indicted until September 11th. I mean, what a day to be indicted. But, I mean, tree branch, if you add up tree branch, it actually adds up to 49 and 94. I mean, what are the odds of that? And this is very significant. I've mentioned it multiple times. 227 is the 49th prime. 227 is Valentine's, Gregorian and Julian. If you convert it, February 27th is the same as Valentine's. Also, 22 divided by 7 is 3.14, which is pi. April 9th is 49, and it is 5 months and 2 days away from September 11th. And then May 2nd, which is 52, is 4 months, 9 days away from September 11th. Even the guys in Columbine, the one guy was born on 4/9, the other guy was born on September 11th. They shot up to school for 49 minutes. I mean, there's a ton of stuff with it. Also, his full name, Adrian Lewis Peterson, it adds up to 227, so kind of interesting. And see you in part 2. It has to do with Obama's assassination.